Welcome to my podcast where we discuss various topics related to Quebec and Canadian real estate. As always, my name is Joseph Noor. I'm a licensed real estate broker here in the province of Quebec. And in today's video, we are continuing our discussion on co-ownership. And we're specifically going to talk, or I should say unpack, the Syndicate of Co-owner, the famous Syndicate of Co-ownership. It goes by many names depending on where you are located. Some people will call them the Condo Association. I believe in the States, in some part of the state, you guys call them HOA or HOA. I'm not sure what the acronym is for, but basically they're usually referring to the same thing. So for the purpose of this video, I'll just refer to them as the Syndicate of Co-owner, or I might say the Condo Association. Okay. So I'm going to explain what it is exactly, what they're responsible for, and some things you need to understand. So let's first start off by understanding what is the syndicate. Okay, so it's basically a legal, moral person that represents all the owners of the co-ownership. Okay, similar to like a business. It's in terms of from a legal standpoint, it is considered a legal, moral person, and the syndicate has two governing bodies. The first one being the board of director, which I'll explain in a minute. And then the second one is the meeting of the co-owners. Okay. So we'll first start off by the board of director. That group of individual are granted power based on what's written in the declaration of co-owner, which, if you remember, it's a document that we talked about in a previous episode. And I think I brought it up in several episodes regarding the topic of co-owner. So I think by now you understand how important that document is. Secondly, it has the power, that board of director has all the relevant power to manage the syndicate. And it's comprised of directors. Usually they are owners, but these directors are appointed by the owners themselves. And the rules around how they are appointed, how long do they need to serve on the board of director, is all written down in the bylaws within the Declaration of Co-ownership, that famous document again. Okay? So that was for the board of director, which was the first governing body of what we refer to as the Syndicate of Co-owner. The second governing body is the meeting of co-owner. And straightforward, basically, the owners or their representative, if they cannot make it, meet periodically to discuss various issue and vote on a specific decision. And all of those meetings are recorded in the co-owner meeting minute, which, if you remember, I had a previous video where I talked about key documents that you need to consult before you buy or sell, especially before you buy a co-ownership property or a condo. And basically, those meeting minutes will have a bunch of relevant information, which I'll touch again on in a minute. But if you remember, votes during those meetings are based on the proportion of shares that each co-owner has, which again, the share of each co-owner is listed in the Declaration of Co-ownership. So I give an example in a previous episode where the easiest way to understand this, if you have a co-owner that has a property which is referred to as a private area, if you remember, of 1,000 square feet, and another co-owner has a property that has 500, so half the square footage. Well, the person with the double the square footage will have typically more votes within those meeting minutes. Within those meetings of the co-owners. Okay. And usually when decisions are made during those meetings, they have to be provided in writings to all the co-owners within 30 days. Now, again, depending on how professionally managed a co-ownership is in some areas it might take more time, but typically by law they're supposed to provide all those decision in written format within 30 days. Going back to the minutes, why is it important to consult those minutes? This is where you will find any mentions of special assessment. So if you remember, special assessments were additional payments that owners will have to pay in addition of their monthly condo fees. This is also where you will read about any planned renovation and if there's any issue related to that, aka planned reno that may lead to special assessment. So this is why, again, it's important for you to consult these documents. Thirdly, any changes within the bylaw that may negatively impact you as a future buyer. That's, again, something you want to look into. And also, which often people don't think about, but if there's any conflict within the building, specifically within owners, whether it's, mid to large size conflict, you will read about them in those meeting minutes. Hence why, again, sorry to repeat myself, it is critical for you to read those documents before you even make them an offer. Lastly, I want to touch on the obligation and the rights of the syndicate. So they have a bunch of obligation, but I'm just going to name a few here. Last one being the most important. Number one, their main responsibility is obviously preserving the building, physical and financial. Managing the common area, obviously, safeguarding the rights of all the co-owners and making sure, everybody's living well together. They are responsible to facilitate the meetings, document, and as I mentioned, send any written decision-making to the owners. And lastly, which is the most important and probably will be a topic of a future video, is managing the financial. I know I'm just, summarizing it, but managing the financial involves many complex things that a homeowner needs to pay attention to. And that's pretty much takes us to the end of our video today. I hope this was helpful to you, and I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you for watching.